Looking good. Looking good. Are we live? Are we live? Let's find out. Well then. Well then. Well then. Well then. One final thing, guys. No. As we begin, post this little link in the chat. And yes, I think we're good to go. It is 11 p.m., ladies and gents. That is Central European time, Vienna time. And it's episode 2 of Zero's Witching Hour. Zero, that's me. And we're on twitch.tv/ZeroOoC. And Witching Hour is a fun, hilarious, even some might claim insightful, hopefully educational art and design tutorial where I attempt to share a little bit of my love for drawing and creating stuff with you guys. In episode 1, bing, we looked at some basics of design, of course, the 3 basic shapes, circles, squares, and triangles, 3 main colors, red, blue, and yellow. And began building a basic drawing, showing all simple techniques like shading and highlighting, setting key lines, just drawing a face of Leonardo. And for this episode, I've actually prepared a little something ahead of time if I can find it. First, we will make a new episode here, which episode 2. This one's called Donatello on Holiday, and why it's called Donatello on Holiday, you will see in just a second. The turtles, of course, Cowabunga, rocking it out. Always good to explain stuff using the turtles. Let's see what the Witching Hour says. No, it's not where I saved it. Let's find it. Using our hit up here. Donatello. I want you to search for stuff in the meantime. I want you to for this. Not here. Where did it save it? No, this is always the problem, right? Like keeping your files organized. It's not always so easy. Oh. I'm not live on watchmework.com, Big Benfica says. Let me just see. Did it work? Ah, yes. Thank you very much, Big Ben. I wasn't actually streaming before on watchmework.com. So that's bad. So here we are, Zero's Witching Hour, 5 minutes late because of technical difficulties. This is the correct link. Thank you, Big Benfica number 9. Please check if it works now. And as I said in the first episode of Zero's Witching Hour, we looked at some very basic design things and drew up a tiny picture using colors and basic drawing techniques. I just explained a little bit about my thought process when drawing stuff. And today we're just going to go a little bit further. We're going to stick to the turtles theme. And I prepared something, painting which is already a little bit further ahead of a Donatello. And Donatello is in Japan and he's taking a holiday in Japan. There's a couple of things wrong with this picture, and they are so on purpose. Over the course of the next half an hour or so, I'll explain to you what we can do to improve this and how we can carry on from this stage. Here you can see there's already a figure has been drawn, basic background and setting has been laid, and there's even already a color scheme in place. Shadows, a bit of detail on his body to get us going. And no, guys, this is not actually, he's not crucified or anything. He's just kind of leaning, like, all chill, like, on his bow staff. You know what I'm saying, right? When the thing is going like bing, bing, bing. Cool, cool, bing, bing. I guess that's cool. Yes, big man, anything. Yeah, Donatello. And yeah, he's not crucified. He's chilling with his bow staff. And in order to show that he's on holiday, there's like a few things that we can do to add through like the Japanese temple here. And we'll go back in time even a little bit to show you how I got to this stage in the drawing. While I look for it, let me turn on. Actually, no, I can't turn on the music because then they'll fuck with me. But I can show you the swell little animation I made just for the witching hour. What? That's right. That's the address. I'm always happy about any follows or shares. But you know, it's fun just be streaming, having a good time in the last couple of weeks or so that the channel has been active and it's just been sweet. Begin. So Donatello, right? He is if we hold shift by the way in Photoshop while we if I have the ruler function enabled, which is here, these numbers and lines along drawing along the canvas. They're in fact enabled if I press Control and R. I can draw guides, right? Like this, and the guide doesn't affect the drawing, but it can help me set proportions and the like. So as we begin, right, we'll leave Donatello for now. Let's quickly set up a few basic rules of design. There's a couple of things you may have heard about when we draw, right? One of them is the rule of thirds. I'll draw some shitty thirds now, so you know what I mean. Let's pretend that this is the drawing, right? And these lines, let's make them a different color. A computer, we can even make straight lines. Imagine that. I was too lazy to grab a ruler. I'm gonna do this on paper. So write the law of thirds. Let's make some factors. We're at it. And the theory, basically, what it means is that if this is the frame and this is the picture, if you place things along these thirds, they will look better. This works for drawings, art, photography, video, whatever. So like, it looks better if I have like a person here, and like he's maybe looking at, I don't know, like a ship or something here in the back. It's already kind of a nice composition that already looks pretty cool. And yeah, you know, like you just let it guided and the drawing kind of then eventually paints itself once you set your main things. You know, you need a subject. Yeah, like in this case, I've got a dude here chilling, right? And because there's a ship, I guess the setting is the beach side. That means that this here is the water. Let's make it obvious. That's water, right? It's not very watery blue, maybe. There. And yeah, that's already like a little picture, you know, and that really helps quite a lot to understand where to place things and stuff. But of course, the law of thirds isn't the only thing you can use. Then there is the golden ratio. golden ratio is based on the Fibonacci sequence and is the most naturally occurring mathematical constant in nature, and it leads to the golden ratio. Let me quickly. Fibonacci numbers are 1, 3, 5, 8, 8, 13, 21, 34, etc. Right? Um, and if you map these numbers, like basically it forms a spiral starting at where the golden ratio is, which is here and here. So it goes like way the snail, right? Or like the way rose petals are formed, or a snail's back, whatever. You know, this is where shit looks good. Like the golden ratio, like this is not very clear now. Let's make the canvas bigger. Centimeters times 150 centimeters. Oh, background. It's no longer white. That's okay. Painted. And yeah, like let's say that let's try and be exact about this. Take a typical widescreen image, right, of a resolution of 720p, and it's here so we can see it. And the golden ratio, like there's a number that is 1.164 or something. Wait, no, getting it wrong. 1.614. Yeah, that's better. Dyslexia strikes. And this, like, if I get rid of the zero, this is 6.614, so that's a bit more than half of something, like a pint, basically. And like if we go from this direction, this is about half, and then a bit further. So here, this point 165, right? And we do this with the length and the width, no, the width and the length, the height and the width. God damn it! And do the same. We go up a little more than half, and then here, right? We can meet an earlier. Fuck, this is on move. This is the point where they meet, right? This is here, right there. This is the compositional focus, the golden ratio, 1.614. If I, for example, get a golden ratio snail of the internet, literally Googled golden ratio snail, yeah, just FYI, and this is something real. And if I did it properly now, I can paste it over, chirp, chirp, chirp. And yeah, it should be about that what I draw. And yeah, looking pretty good, looking pretty good. Here we go, right? So this is exactly the spiral that I was drawing there before, because that spiral follows the function of this and this to create the spiral. Don't ask me exactly how it works. I was shitty at math, but I mean, like, the spiral is easy enough to understand, and like it's easy to understand that the Fibonacci sequence of numbers is 1 plus 1 equals 2, 2 plus 2, 1 plus 1 equals 2, 1 plus 2 equals 3, 2 plus 3 equals 5, 5 plus 8 equals 13, and so forth. Right? And I actually learned that in math class. One of the things I retained, along with like geometry and shit. Geometry helps a lot when you're drawing. So let's quickly label this shit so we remember what it was. This is law of thirds with this tiny font. Let's make it a bit bigger, even bigger. Oh, I have to check the chat over there. How's the quality, guys? Do you enjoy what you're seeing? It depends. So this, you gotta let me know. So this is the law of thirds. This is the Fibonacci. Nervous, sorry, guys. Fibonacci sequence. Spiral. This is the golden ratio. Derp, yes, cool. And this is the length, and this is the derp. The height, derp. It's like a 5-year-old. And yeah, like this, what we made now over here, this golden ratio, right? In a 720p format, we can apply with Donnie to make him look cooler, better, whatever, right? Let's turn that and find out where his head should be in the drawing to make it really cool. Whoop. Okay, so this is actually the format that it should be. That's interesting. Let's move the guidelines. Whap. And whap. This is where our focal point should be. That means we may have to even make Donnie's a little smaller. Thanks, guys. I make the focus a little smaller. Okay, we've got about 10 minutes left on this drawing. Like, if you guys have any questions at this point, feel free to ask them, because I'm just quickly gonna light this here cigarette, and then I'll get back to drawing. I hope like what I'm saying makes sense. Like, I hope I'm explaining anything useful. Like, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I dropped something. Here it is. Tiny break. And yeah. So basically, across the little star, the clash here, this is supposed to represent the perfect uh, composition for this painting, right? But that means that it's too wide. It would look better if it was a bit smaller. But what we must keep in mind is that there are different formats, right? Because we're using a video format here to measure it out. And we should be probably using, right, a standard paper size, right, or photo size, portrait, 8 times 10, 8 inches times 10 inches. Pixels, that is 300 centimeters, that is, so pixels, photo, and now we have the correct format that we want, because the photo format still becomes important later. So yeah, now we have this, and now we see that this is incorrect. We need to make it bigger, like so, move it properly. 0.6. That's good. I can deal with that. Now we take everything from over here, put this down. Take everything from over here and put it there. Yes, 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 yes. Whatever. Now we can put that back. And now we have Donnie on this kind of canvas. So let's adjust him to size. Let's make this a bit less opacitous. Right? We don't need to select everything else. Wah. Wah. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. The eyes should be like so. Just about so. That side still needs time. Space to breathe. Don't want to cut off the hand too much. So it's good. Yeah, that really looks much better. And now let's pretend like we know what we're doing and select all of this. Just using the normal select tool, blah, 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 blah. I will, in fact, new layer with Control Shift N. Take the color picker tool and fill that up. Now it kind of looks like the shit next to it. And if we use the content aware fill now, Shift F5, this is quite a new feature of the more later generations of Photoshop products, and like content aware will joke. Content aware fill will choke, so let's try it like this maybe. See what it does. Not much. Not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. Let's complete the hill. Mm. So tiny bit of white there. Let's see where our little spiral is that we made earlier. There it is. Correlated with that to see what we're doing. Any good? Oh, just so. Yeah. Fill it up completely and hope that this is where the eye is. Not quite, but pretty close. Pretty close. So we measured it pretty well just using our eyes. Derpy derp. Not bad. Okay, so composition. This the golden ratio right here where his eyes or his face, right? The law of thirds is also in effect. At the same time, see how where his body ends, where the arch and the background ends and begins. The ground isn't properly set yet. If this is about a third, then the ground should end about here. So let's do that quickly. And it'll look better, hopefully. But this is like the more scientific approach to drawing. You know, usually I don't always measure out drawings like this. Yeah, like don't get the wrong impression. Like most of the time I just sit there and just try it and see what happens. But yeah, like sometimes you need a plan, and working like from with the old master techniques is usually not such a bad idea. I hope. So that goes down like that. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, interesting, interesting. Could add something else like a yeah, I have an idea. Something very dark red. Need slightly bigger. Up, down. I like that. It's a bit weird. Let's get rid of it. Yeah, maybe now that slope is too steep. Yeah, maybe now that slope is too steep. I hope that's loud enough, guys. Yeah, dude, it's almost half past, so start getting your requests in. I know what Big Ben wants, and I'm actually gonna light the cigarette now, which I wanted to light before. So yeah, now basically what we have done is we have set up the dummy drawing we've made before. Donatello. I'll even go further back in time so you can see how he's being drawn. Let me go closer so you can see. Mhm. Shadows, some more texture, the stick, the purple bandana, more purple, face smoothing, more detail. But yeah, like now I would this drawing, it's maybe like 30% done, if probably less, right? In the overall grand scheme of things. Yes, you sure did hear big names. His name and Pideo's request of course, also not forget. It's coming right up. But yeah, now we've positioned it correctly. Like now the paper is the correct format. Um, it was too thin before. Like we moved him a bit. We cropped the picture a bit to set it up according to. We're looking at the wrong one. Huh? This is the right one, and we made it a bit bigger. With two different versions now, actually, whichever one you prefer. I was just basically using this to explain the golden ratio, right, and like the fucking Fibonacci sequence and stuff. Um, yeah, like I'm gonna continue painting on this Donatello over time, so you guys can see what an eventually proper finished drawing or illustration looks like. Like if you want to do commission work for others, you would like to be able to adhere to a certain quality, and I'm gonna be able to, or I will be taking you through the drawing process, right, from sketch all the way to finish print or finished original piece of work, and how you can present it and set it up so you have the maximum resolution and the best print quality, and how you can make it look nice. Little tips and tweaks, and like this, like the whole witching hour thing is not just me drawing. Like I want to kind of tell you about all the things I've learned, in the last 15 years or so using programs like Photoshop and stuff. And there's so many hotkeys and little mouse clicks and tricks that you can learn. They're so awesome. Um, yeah, and like let's see how many episodes we get done of this, right? And then perhaps at the end, if there's ever an end, we'll have produced something cool. Yeah. Any questions so far, guys? You just make one black spot on a white background and you're done. Yeah, that is one approach, Hideo. Like the nice thing is that you don't have to draw in any particular way whatsoever. You can draw anything you like in any way that you want. If you want to draw with a wooden stick that's soaked in tar onto a wall, then that's cool. If you want to use really expensive Copic markers, for example, or you want to painting, draw using a quill and Indian ink, like that's all possible too. Um, when you go to university and or school and you do like art classes, right? Like you just get like kind of general projects, and sometimes at school, like they kind of tell you like, okay, for this one, you make a drawing of a rabbit and you have to use charcoal and it has to be shaded realistically, right? That's like the task. Yeah. Another task would be, okay, now we're making an acrylic painting that is supposed to be surreal. So the first thing we do is we make a collage or a mood board, and then we just pick random paintings and drawings we like, and then out of that we paint something new. That's a kind of like the approach, like in school or like high school. And then in university art class, like the projects get much more general. It's, for example, like the title will be uh, the cat came around the corner. Period. And you have to interpret that. It says they might say, okay, it needs to be a 2D animation done in 2 weeks. Yeah, but they're not going to tell you what medium you have to use or what what size it needs to be or what story or what specific picture even you have to draw. Like as an illustrator, it is your job to interpret that for the customer, right? Like if the customer says, "Oh, I want to have a cat that's riding a horse uh, in front of a flaming background," like he has like a specific image in mind, you know. And the tricky bit is communicating that idea, like how does he imagine it or she imagine it, and how do you imagine it, right? And then when you draw it, like let's say I begin my sketch of his cat and I decide to draw a Siam cat, right? But what he was imagining was, I don't know, a British blue. And then so he sees your drawing, and yes, it is a cat on a horse. So I have a hair on my tongue. Well, cat and a horse, but like it's not the cat that he wanted, and then they'll be unhappy, and then they'll question you and be like, "Why didn't you know that?" You know, and like that's part of like the customer experience. You know, when you're producing art for people and stuff, you always have to communicate with them and make sure that the image in your head lines up with the one that they are envisioning. This is when you do commission work. Um, so yeah, you know, like it just takes a lot of time and practice, like to get it right. You know, like most people that draw seem to be kind of sensitive souls, and sensitive souls are often not so great at making money. And an art degree and art course is all well and good, and you'll be skilled and skillful after that. But you probably won't really know how to market yourself very well, and that's a big problem. There's a huge talent pool out there of amazing artists, but they just don't know how to put themselves out there because they see that, or they believe that their work has no value because it's made so hard for them, or they make it hard for themselves. You know, like if you want to draw, you know, you can persevere. It's all about your own self discipline. You have to practice. You know, it can be really frustrating. But yeah, I think I need to start getting on those requests. But first, 420. Okay, so request number one. And guys in the chat, maybe you can help me with this. Everybody gets 5 minutes, and if somebody could keep a timer for the request, that would be cool. So ready, like Roger me, reply me if you have read that or heard that, what I just said. Your request, please. But Pedeo actually asked first, I think, didn't he? Big Ben asked first. Okay, so first, Big Ben wanted to have a Benfica logo, a badass one. So what do we need? E pluribus unum. Together we're one. Is that what it means? Okay, so the first request is from our main man, Big Ben, and Big Benfica number 9. So how could we make this cool? The Benfica logo in 5 minutes. I'll try sketching one. How about it? Let's put that here for all one. main man in the hood. Let me make a new banner, and I'm gonna be sketching. So let's take this smaller. This is stressy. And drawing an awesome Benfica logo. How do you like it so far? Am I going the right direction? More space to draw this. Dude, this is a computer. We have as much space as we want. Hmm. How much time do I have? Okay. Let's see. What is it like? Uh, one, two, and then. What does it say? SLB. The text I have to redo that to make it nice. Big Ben, you should be posting this on like the soccer Reddit or something, or like the Benfica subreddit. Back. I want to draw an E. I have to go back. It's the first time I have to go back. Ah, it blew it was well, it's a bit ugly, but for now it's pretty good. What time is it? 2 more minutes. Okay, let's make it better. Colors, really quickly. Colors. Ah, choke. Ah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, 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 yeah. Not so bad. Some gray for that weird ass. Oh, it's a circle. It's not so weird. Hmm. There. Oh, still the blue, and of course the ball. Mm. And here we go. Almost ready. Still need to put some dots on the ground. Then. Whew. And dot. What do you think? Nah, dude. Other people still want their turn. Okay, how about this for 5 minutes? What do you think? Do you like it? It's not so bad for. Okay, that was more than 5 minutes. Let's be honest. But. Mhm. Mhm. Is there anyone there? I don't know. I can't even tell. Dude, I'm trying to focus on the one stream. Are there even other people over here? I don't even Oh, there's some people here. Let's see if in the YouTube stream. Where is the thing? The bing bing bing. Thanks. Well, I'll drop Hideo's request anyways because I know what it is. So let's just keep going. La di da. Da. So that's the first request ever done in my witching hour half time. So Big Ben, Fika number 9. This is my 5-minute Benfica logo for you. I know someone else who would quite enjoy that. I will keep working on it later, but now it's time for request number 2. Hey yo. With a what? What was it? Draw a ghost with a red nose? What was it? Draw a ghost. What was it? Fly on the nose. Draw a ghost. Draw a ghost with a fly on the nose. Okay. On his. Okay. Let's draw a ghost. Brush. Style. Or yeah. The day. Oh, let's see what I can come up with you. Yeah, it is the delay, bro. It is. It's good. Why is it so slow? It's weird brush, bro. Basic brushes. Okay, that'll do. Yeah, and so. Mhm. And these are not little pizzas. These are, in fact, Italian. Yeah. No. The quest is, as it stands, struggles with a fly in his nose. Yeah. With a fly in his nose. Yes, but let's give him some paint. Ah, wrong. Let's make a new layer. Ghosts don't have noses, so I can only place the fly where the nose is, basically. Ah, so, oops. Shit. Pardon my French. Oh, sometimes like this. And so, how many minutes have I spent? Take care, Big Ben. Thanks for having me. Let's make it nice blue. So draw him a little. Ooh, sweat thing. Ooh, so random what I drew there. Uh, okay, but now to demonstrate that it's a ghost, we'll put the fly elsewhere. There we go. The wings are tiny. Bit of gray. Give it the red fly eyes, like so. It's a big fly. And now we'll show that the ghost is in fact a ghost. Maybe a bit too much. Okay, that's very random. Yeah, but I guess it is a ghost with a blindness nose, even though he's very random. So that was witching hour for today. I got 2 requests and a logo for Big Ben and a ghost for video. And we covered, of course, Donnie and compositioning, Donatello on holiday, why is on holiday, and how we can make it more humorous. We'll check that out in the future. But we learned a bit about the golden ratio, about the law of thirds, about positioning your figure, and yes, just how we can set some basic foundations for our painting. This drawing is about 30% done, but this hour of witching hour is about 99% done. So in that case, in that sense, thank you guys for tuning in on my ramblings, watching me draw, seeing what's up. Like if you enjoy that, come by my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/ZeroOoC. Give me a follow, give me a tip, even if you're feeling generous, if you enjoyed that. I certainly did, and I'm gonna go and draw some more now. But for now, I'm off the air. Thanks to watchmework.com for having me, and all you guys in the Twitch channel being awesome as always. Rock and roll.